James, a man looking for a new place to live, was intrigued by an online ad for a house priced at just hundreds. At first, he thought it was a scam, but driven by curiosity, he decided to check it out. When he arrived, he found a dilapidated house with a collapsing roof and cracked walls, surrounded by overgrown weeds. Despite its condition, the elderly woman selling it had a gentle, sorrowful expression. "I'm selling this house so cheaply because I just want a kind person to live here," she told him. After buying the house, James began renovations. While cleaning a bedroom, he found a stuck drawer. When he opened it, a small backpack fell out. Inside, he discovered an old blueprint and a handwritten will. The letter read, "In this house, there is a secret cave hiding the fortune I saved my whole life. I leave it only for someone with a truly pure heart. I hope you find it." James started to search for the secret passage. Following the map in the blueprint, he eventually found a hidden door behind a wall near the fireplace. Behind the door, he discovered a small room filled with gold, diamonds, and other precious gems. He also found a journal. In the journal, James learned a surprising truth. The original owner of the house was a kind woman, but she was ostracized and considered crazy before she passed away. The elderly woman who sold the house was her daughter. The daughter sold the house for a ridiculously low price because she wanted to find a genuinely good person to inherit her mother's valuable fortune. James realized the house wasn't just an abandoned building. It was filled with the story of a rejected woman and the hope she left behind. He decided to use the fortune to transform the house into a community center, helping those in need and honoring the memory of the kind woman. A few weeks later, as James was preparing to open the community center, he received a mysterious phone call. A man's voice on the other end said, "You know you're holding something that isn't yours, right? That fortune belongs to my family, and I'm coming to get it back." The threat worried James. He began to notice a strange car parked near his house for several days. He found another secret hidden in the back of the journal. On the last page was a small, tucked-away photograph of the original owner, standing with a middle-aged man in a suit. James recalled an entry in the journal where the owner wrote about a man named Albert, who was supposed to manage her finances but later betrayed her and took her money. This discovery made James suspect that the man on the phone might be a descendant of Albert. He decided he couldn't just sit back and do nothing. He had to protect the house and the kind woman's legacy. The tension escalated one night when someone broke a window at his house. James called the police and decided to meet with the elderly daughter to tell her what was happening. The daughter revealed that Albert had disappeared years ago, but that he had a powerful lawyer for a brother. The next day, a man named Mr. Finch, a well-dressed lawyer, arrived at James's house. Mr. Finch claimed to be Albert's brother and demanded the fortune, stating it was his family's legal inheritance. He even showed James some forged documents to back up his claim. James knew he couldn't face Mr. Finch alone. He decided to find a lawyer who would believe his unusual story. He found a young, hungry attorney named Lisa, who was more interested in justice than money. After hearing James's story and reviewing the old journal and the handwritten will, she was in. She saw the truth hidden within the pages, a truth that went beyond legal documents. "This isn't just a case about money, James," Lisa said. "This is a case about a woman's last wish and a family's betrayal. Finch's forged documents won't stand up against the emotional and historical weight of this evidence." Lisa advised James to formally file a complaint with the court, citing the fraudulent claims and the moral right to the fortune as outlined in the original owner's will. She also arranged for the elderly daughter to provide a sworn testimony, detailing her mother's life and the truth about Albert's actions. The daughter's account was a powerful piece of evidence, as it established a clear motive for the original owner to hide her fortune and a reason for her disdain toward Albert and his family. The day of the hearing was tense. Mr. Finch, looking confident in his expensive suit, presented his case with a smug smile. He argued that the handwritten will was not legally valid and that James had no right to the fortune. He dismissed the journal as the ramblings of a troubled woman. Then it was James's turn. Lisa methodically presented the evidence, the original will, the detailed journal entries, and the elderly daughter's poignant testimony. She then introduced a key piece of evidence James had found buried in the house's legal records, a document from years ago where the original owner had officially disinherited Albert and his family for financial misconduct. The document wasn't about the fortune itself, but it proved she had no intention of leaving them anything, undermining Finch's entire case. The final blow came when the judge, after reviewing all the evidence, looked directly at Mr. Finch. The court finds that Mr. Finch's claims are without merit. The original owner's will, while unconventional, clearly states her wishes for her fortune to go to a person of good character, not to a family that betrayed her. The evidence presented, particularly the disinheritance document, overwhelmingly supports this conclusion. The fortune belongs to Mr. James. Mr. Finch stormed out of the courtroom, his case destroyed and his reputation in tatters. With the legal battle won, James could finally focus on his true mission. He used the fortune to fully renovate the house, turning it into a beautiful, welcoming community center. The grand opening was a joyous event. The elderly daughter, looking years younger with a smile on her face, cut the ribbon alongside James. "My mother would be so happy," she said, tears in her eyes. "You were the person she was waiting for all along." The house was no longer known as the haunted or abandoned house. It was a place of hope, a symbol of a legacy protected, and a testament to the idea that a truly pure heart is a fortune in itself. After the community center was officially opened, James and the elderly daughter, whose name was Eleanor, discussed what its first project should be. Eleanor suggested a program that would have made her mother happy, something for people who felt lost or misunderstood. James thought about the creative spirit of the original owner, the way she had hidden her will and fortune in a way that felt like a treasure hunt. He decided the first project would be an art program for local artists and creators who couldn't afford studio space or materials. He named it the Margaret Rose Arts Collective, in honor of the name he found in the original owner's journal. The collective offered free studio space, donated art supplies, and a small gallery on the main floor to showcase their work. It quickly attracted a group of talented but struggling individuals. Among them was a young woman named Lily, a painter who had been close to giving up on her dream. She had been working 3 jobs just to pay her rent, leaving no time or energy for her art. At the center, Lily found a quiet, inspiring space. Surrounded by the house's history, she began to paint a new series of works. Her first piece, a beautiful, vibrant canvas, depicted the house not as the dilapidated building it had been, but as a lighthouse, a beacon of hope. The painting captured the spirit of the home and its history of finding kindness in a world that had been unkind. On the night of the collective's first art show, the house was filled with people. As James stood with Eleanor and watched Lily's painting sell to a generous patron, he felt a profound sense of peace. The fortune he had found was not the gold and jewels, but the ability to transform a tragic story into a place of new beginnings. The house, once full of secrets, was now filled with art, laughter, and the living legacy of a woman's enduring kindness. Years passed, and the Margaret Rose Arts Collective became a cornerstone of the neighborhood. The house, once a forgotten shell of a home, was now alive with the sound of music, the sight of vibrant paintings, and the energy of a community finally finding its voice. James was no longer just the man who found a fortune. He was the heart of the community. He and Eleanor became inseparable, sharing stories and laughter on the porch, where the old woman had first offered him the house for $100 for Eleanor. Seeing her mother's wish fulfilled brought a peace she had sought her whole life. Lily, the young artist, became a resident artist and a mentor to others at the collective. Her paintings, which now commanded a high price, all began with a sketch of the house, a reminder of the place that had saved her dream. The fortune was eventually spent not on a single indulgence, but on a lifetime of projects that brought beauty and hope to countless people. The house's true wealth, it turned out, was never in the gold and jewels hidden in its walls, but in the kindness it unlocked, proving that a pure heart is the most valuable inheritance of all. Subscribe for more.